Three, two, one. Platform TV joined with 506, my brother. You walked in here with the best energy,
Thank you.
the smile, the
Always.
attitude.
Always energy.
I do all right.
Is that what people can expect when you jump on that stage at Badlands?
Yo, if you've been to a 5 or 6 shows, you should know that that you should always expect a lot of energy, because I'm all about that.
I love that, man. You ooze that energy out, and that's why we wanted to have you a part of this amazing platform and help you and help us get to that next level. But let's get into kind of like a little bit of who you are and what your music's about, so that anyone that hasn't experienced 506 music or 506 performance can really understand what it's about. So where did you grow up? Where did you start?
Originally, I'm from South Sudan. Originally from South Sudan, but I've been in Australia for about 15, maybe 16 years now. I think going to 16 years actually. But yeah. So originally from South Sudan, and then I was raised in Australia. It's been two different worlds, but like great experience,
When did music start for you? When did you start actually? I always ask that question, and people talk about the music that they grew up with. But when did music start, and you were like, oh, I can do this.
Okay.
I'm about this.
Music started for me when I was in year 11.
Okay.
So like Mr. Newton, my music teacher.
Shout out to
Mr.
Shout out
Mr. Newton. If you see this, shout out to you, cuz. Yeah.
Love it.
So yeah, Mr. Newton, like we were in music class, and we've always been just writing and like making beats and all that stuff. And then I did my first rap and I showed him, and then he's like, oh, not too bad. We should do something for assembly. And I was like, yeah, I'm keen. So we actually did something for assembly, and then from there onwards, like the response that I got from there, I was just like, "Yo, this is pretty good.
This is me.
Yeah.
I got to do it."
Yeah, this is like it felt good,
What was that experience performing for assembly? As much as it's like a small thing at that time for you, it's huge.
That would have been the first time you performed, right?
Yeah, it was like the first time I ever performed for like an audience, and like I'll tell you, it was nerve wracking as hell. Like. Not gonna try. I think I was like shaking.
Yeah.
Even after the set.
If you're not, I always say, if you're not nervous, you don't care enough.
Facts. Okay, I like that.
Hey, I like that.
I like that.
Hey, trademark that.
Yeah.
Put on my business card.
Real quick.
And where does did you grow up being inspired by music by family, or was it just kind of was it more what you were listening to?
Yeah, so like with music, it came about with like just being on the bus and stuff, and like because I traveled a lot. Especially with like high school and stuff, like an hour trip from where I live, majority of the time. And
Perfect time to write.
Yeah, so I just listened to a whole lot of like Drake and like even like combining African music onto that. So like native music, like extra music or something like it's a bit of Congolese music on there, but we listen to that a lot. And like Kanye West mainly, I'd say, because he got me into sampling. Like hardcore.
When you hear that in your music, I was going to say Travis Scott, but Travis Scott is so influenced by Kanye West. Yeah. So I see how that trickle down effect, Is there any, like, in particular, album of Kanye that you really fell in love with and went, all right, this is what I'm about?
The best album for me has to be Graduation.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Like, it's just, it speaks to me.
What is it about that album? Because everyone has their little differences of why they love that album and what they've taken. But you as an artist yourself, I'm sure probably took something very different than I would have.
For me, because like when I was listening to it at the time, I was thinking upon like a production level, because like I love the way he sampled and put things together, So I was just listening to like the instrumentation formation. So that's for me. I'd say that's what stood out to me personally.
What's your process like? Because I'm blessed. I've seen Kanye in his process and Travis.
Yeah.
What's your process like in making music? Listening for those samples and then writing on them as well.
Okay, my process usually like there's two ways. So sometimes I'd create the beat and then I'd write to it, or sometimes like I'd come up with a melody at work. I'd record it down and then like I'd make the beat around the melody, that I just recorded. So like with me, like with samples and stuff, like I love to listen to a whole bunch of different stuff. Like my recent sample I just did was just like this Chinese like instrumentation of like hell like traditional.
Yeah.
But like when I chopped it, I made it into a hip hop formation. It just like it stood out a bit more different, So it's like I look out for these things. Like I'm all over the place when it comes to that. Yeah.
Being able to sample is like that's a huge skill. Like lots of people can make beats and they can rap and sing, but like understanding how to sample is like puts you so much further ahead of other producers out there. Is it someone that taught you how to do that, or was it just self-taught?
All right, so like my educational system comes from YouTube.
Yeah.
And also, shout out to
University
YouTube.
of YouTube.
Trust me, YouTube is the way, guys. And also 40. So like one of my homeboys called 40. Shout out to 40.
He ain't the only producer called 40 that's absolutely amazing, then.
Yeah, he's actually not.
Not OVO 40.
No, he's not. He's actually it's spelled differently. Like, everyone always gets a bit confused. It's spelled 4 and then TI.
Okay.
Yeah, and it stands for today in music.
Dope.
You know?
Yeah.
And like, so like the dude is crazy. So like he basically got me into sampling a bit more as well, because like when I listen to samples, I'm like, man, I want to go home, I want to make something like that, but better, like, you know? So it's like that sort of that little like, you know, like friendly conversation between me and him just took us up, you know, to another level. Like, and like
he's not the only producer you work with though. Like it would, before I ask the next question, would 40 be like your Drake, and 40, is he like your go-to guy for production, or are you kind of like all over the place with who you're working with? Yeah, so like with me, like I work with a whole bunch of people, but like 40, when it comes down to it, I go to him first when I have like I don't have any inspiration, sorry, at the moment. So it's like when I go to him, I'm like, hey bro, I got this idea. Can you just like cook it up and make it, you know, alive? Yeah. And then he does that. And like for Notice Me, one of my tracks called Notice Me. Yeah. And like he did that for that. And I was just, it's amazing. It's amazing. What is it about music for you that, you know, you love and keeps you like grinding and wanting to like level up to that next level? What's the feeling, or what's the motive behind it? All right. So like my motive comes from like my inspiration around me. So it would be family, could be friends, you know, could be like even like someone else's experiences that I see on a screen, you know what I mean? So it could be like a new, like something that I see on like news or something, like someone that's hurt. Like I wrote this like, you know, during that whole like situation upon Black Lives Matter, I wrote this like this deep, meaningful rap about that situation. Yeah. Like that's what I just, you know, I felt at the same time. Yeah, exactly. I felt, and at the same time, you know, this is what I was perceiving at the time. Yeah, so. Yeah. What is it, you know, like being in, you know, being black and being amongst this moment of Black Lives Matter, and, you know, you see in the States Donald Trump and the fact of that he stands so secluded. For you as a musician, is that something that you really take in and go, all right, this gives me more power to use my platform? Definitely. Like, you know, I feel like it's important for every influencer to be able to, you know, use their voice to, you know, hey, like you spread the word, because like if you have that much of a influence, it's important to do that. Yeah. So I feel like for myself, yeah, it's important for me, because like there's a lot of situations, like even with me, like I went to high school and primary school, and like I dealt with a whole lot of situations, but like we don't want to get into that right now. We're gonna have a therapy session and shit. God damn it. But yeah, so I feel like it's important. I try to share that a lot with my music, so I share a lot of like, you know, positivity. So who do you go to, you know, besides 40 for either reassurance in music, or, you know, you go and bounce something off and say, is this good? Who are you, like, are you feeling it? Is there someone or people that you do go to? Yeah, that's actually my sisters. Okay. Yeah, my little sisters, like before anyone hears anything, like they actually listen to it. And like my little sister, she's A1 honest, man. Yeah. A1 honest when I say little that. Little sisters, they ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing. Bruh. And they just tell me like completely like, this is how I feel and this is what you need to work on. And then I take what they say and I'm like, okay, how can I better this for myself? Because like you can hit it someone, but then at the same time you gotta listen to your own advice, you know, because it's like it's important. It's your project at the end of the day. You know? We haven't got too long until platform performance, August 23rd at Badlands. Yep. What do you got cooking up? What are you getting ready for the Perth crowd? Oh man, so right now I was just talking to my boy Tyler just recently, and we got this song called like Too Much on My Plate. So that's gonna be the single that I'm gonna actually like share with you guys. You're gonna drop it first time? Yeah. Exclusive. Yeah. Exclusive. Hard. We're gonna go hard. As it should be. But
I've already performed it already though, but I'm gonna
To your
perform.
sisters, you performed.
No. This is to another Tobias. You there? You know what time it is. What was I saying?
Tobias is off screen right now, but he's also performing at Platform.
Facts.
And so there could be a few people jumping up on stage while you're up there.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
I reckon it's gonna be a show to remember, guys. Like I tell you that, trust me. Like it's gonna be a vibe.
Love it.
Yeah.
Man, appreciate you sitting down with us. 506 Badlands, the 23rd, Platform TV. Mate, I'm ready for that energy.
Always.
Ready to take it up?
Thank you.
Appreciate
you, bro. Thank you so
100.
much, bro. Cheers.
Oh,
All right. That was a bit of an awkward moment. Just smile to the camera.
Yeah.